Hello, everybody. I am Angel, and welcome to my YouTube channel. By the time you are seeing this, it is Pride Month. And in honor of Pride Month, I wanted to make a video kind of talking about discovering my identity. So I started dabbling in trying to figure out my identity from a young age, since middle school, when I had came out as bisexual and dated my first girl. But eventually, me and her had broken up, and I started going by they them pronouns. And I went by they them for a while, up until about 14, I want to say, when I switched to he they pronouns. And I then identified as pansexual for a bit. And over, let's see, 3 years was it? Was I pan before coming out as gay? Anyways, I had a boyfriend during this time, and I didn't really want to deal with like anything else changing because so much shit had already happened. And so I wasn't even going to worry about looking into it, even though I already started to feel weird. Because I started dressing extremely feminine and I started loving terms like princess and like whatnot. And I didn't kind of pick up on it until me and this ex broke up, and I ended up meeting my ex situationship. And at this point, it was clear that I identified as she, they. And so then I switched back to bisexual and, switched over to my she, they pronouns and was in a situationship for a few months with a straight man. And pretty much eventually that ended. But during it, I noticed afterwards that I had kind of feminized him quite a bit. And anything he would do that was feminine, I would cling to it, right? But eventually I realized that he was never going to make me fully happy. I was never going to be happy with him because he was never actually going to be a woman. A part of me knew that. But then after I met this person and I realized what real connection is, it's like things shifted. And I kind of subconsciously started hating my ex situationship just because he was not a woman and never would be one. And if things had not ended when they did, I probably would have ended up hating him fully. And I would have hated to do that because he doesn't deserve me to hate him just because he's not a woman and I didn't know I was a lesbian. With learning my identity, learning to let go, learning to move forward, learning that shit just happens sometime and that's life, right? Like, sometimes you can't do anything about it. And whereas, yes, I did lose a friend in that, it was also a crucial step in learning who I was. Also funny because there was one time that I was texting with a friend after some stuff had happened, and I told him, I was like, I am done with love for the foreseeable future, but I'm done with men for good. Um, I later told that same person, I was like, hey, by the way, remember how I said this to you? And they were like, yeah. I was like, okay, yeah, turns out I'm a lesbian. And they were like, I didn't see that coming. And I'm like, really? Because, like, when I told the sexies into the sexy six, after I sort of started realizing that I was a lesbian, I didn't want to refer to myself as such. So I was using terms such as calling myself WLW or a woman lover or a girl kisser and like just avoiding the word lesbian at all costs, terrified to call myself such. But then one day I was like, no, you know what? Fuck it. I am a lesbian. I texted the sexy six and I'm like, I'm finally ready to label myself. I am a lesbian. And they were like, yeah, we know. We know. Like, okay, wow. Would have been nice if someone told me. But I think it's something that kind of everyone saw coming as far as, like, me being a lesbian. And also, fun fact, my cat, Mouse, is also a lesbian and she has a girlfriend, practically a wife at this point. I would always be like, oh my god, my cat's so lucky. Why does my cat get to be a lesbian and I don't? Um, well, turns out I do get to be one. And that's another thing I was talking about before. One minute it's I love being a lesbian, and the next it's I fucking hate being a lesbian. I love being a lesbian. Because look, 10:32 p.m., 11:10 p.m. I was going through something. I was going through something. Full on sobbing. Having a crush on a girl is interesting. Being a lesbian is interesting. Whereas I've been telling a lot of fun stories and like happy stories about my experience, it's not always that great of an experience. You have men who will be weird to you, especially after you tell them you're a lesbian, where they will fire back with, well, I'm a lesbian too, and just like a bunch of weird shit. But also coming out to family, like when I came out as a lesbian to my mother, and I was told, you're not a lesbian, you just have daddy issues. So, not all coming out stories are like funny and like fun and over the top, like some of mine have been. Some are also not really that great of an experience. But no matter what anyone says, it's your sexuality, it's your gender identity. That should be up to you to decide. That shouldn't be for anyone else to tell you what you are or are not. As long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you're not doing anything illegal, then fuck it. Okay? Fuck it. And fuck whoever you want, or don't fuck anyone. Like honestly, it's up to you to decide what you want to do with your life. That's no one can tell you what to do with your life. And if no one in your life will support you, then fuck them. I will. I will support you if no one else will. You can tell me in the comments if you would like your story, and I will be there to support you if no one else will. And my community will also be there to support you if no one else will. Because we are all one family here. And that concludes the video. Happy Pride Month, everyone. Keep in mind, we will also be doing lots of streams over on my Twitch, which will be linked. And you can go and join us there. I plan to be doing a lot of streams over on Twitch during Pride Month. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. And like I said, if you want, comment your stories down below. I would love to hear them. I hope you all have a great day, evening, night, whenever you're watching this. And yeah, I will see you all very soon. Kisses. Mwah.